The Royals are on a winning streak, and Kauffman Stadium has felt like home sweet home again. Even when the Royals were 17-10 in first place and the talk of baseball, they never put together a 5-game winning streak. They'll get the chance today, going for a sweep over the Astros next on Fox Sports Kansas City. Royals baseball comes to you on a gorgeous Sunday afternoon in Kansas City, and the sun continues to shine on Kauffman Stadium as the Royals go for a 5-game winning streak. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ballpark. I'm Ryan Lefevre. The Royals have won 4 in a row. They've scored 22 runs during that streak, and as the offense continues to live under the microscope, don't forget about the pitching. They've only allowed 8 runs during the current winning streak, and they have continued to thrive in the month of June with a 1.57 ERA that is second best in the major leagues. And the bullpen has put the pieces back together. Their ERA is under 1 during the month of June. As we welcome in Rex Hudler, Hud, Irvin Santana should have won his 100th game about a month ago, but he finally got the run support yesterday and hit the milestone.
Oh, was it fresh to see. 7th try at 100, that's a nice round mark. But you got to have the offense to do it. The 2 runs in the first inning, that was a beautiful thing. He goes out there after that. He has a 2-0 lead coming into the second inning, and he did his magic. He worked his slider out of the zone, but he did that with that setting up that nice fastball. Look where he's hitting that ball, or where he's putting it. He's putting it right on the corners. And occasionally he missed in, but you know what? They didn't hit it. He did his job, kept the ball in the yard, but we've been always looking for some offense, and here it comes. In the last 4 games, we were looking for the bus driver. We know it's Billy Butler, but we needed some passengers. All of a sudden, Lorenzo Cain, even David Lowe, an unlikely source, is saying all aboard. 15 RBIs in the 4 games between these guys. That's getting it done.
And Luis Mendoza has been getting it done. He's had 6 consecutive starts, allowing 3 earned runs or less. He'll start today.
As a Hall of Famer in that career, and now back as the hitting coach and having some success. Welcome back to Kauffman Stadium. Joel Goldberg out here in right field, and the team offensively starting to turn things around. And I had a chance to ask George about that this morning during batting practice. I said, what's been the biggest key to the turnaround? Was there a moment? He said, not a moment, but we're scoring early. He said, our objective is to score early every single game, take the pressure off these pitchers who have felt like they've been pitching on eggshells all year long, trying to grind it out. He said, I told poor James Shields the other day, you haven't thrown one easy pitch all year long. They're trying to change that, get that offense going, and over the last 4 games, scoring 5.5 runs per contest. The look for the sweep here on a beautiful day in Kansas City. Enjoy the action between the Royals and the Astros. Ryan Lefevre and Rex Hudler have the call next. A Hall of Famer in that career, and now back as the hitting coach and having some success. Welcome back to Kauffman Stadium. Joel Goldberg out here in right field, and the team offensively starting to turn things around. And I had a chance to ask George about that this morning during batting practice. I said, what's been the biggest key to the turnaround? Was there a moment? He said, not a moment, but we're scoring early. He said, our objective is to score early every single game, take the pressure off these pitchers who have felt like they've been pitching on eggshells all year long, trying to grind it out. He said, I told poor James Shields the other day, you haven't thrown one easy pitch all year long. They're trying to change that, get that offense going, and over the last 4 games, scoring 5.5 runs per contest. The look for the sweep here on a beautiful day in Kansas City. Enjoy the action between the Royals and the Astros. Ryan Lefebvre and Rex Hudler have the call next.
You by the Missouri Lottery. Play the Powerball and Mega Million Scratchers game to win $100,000 or more. By your Kansas City Chevy dealer, the official vehicle of the Kansas City Royals. And by ATT Uverse TV. Rethink possible. Boy, what a beautiful weekend we've had in Kansas City, and another gorgeous day today. And tonight's game is brought to you in high definition by Time Warner Cable, the official TV, internet, and home phone provider of the Kansas City Royals. And the Royals have been playing like the weather, having won 4 in a row, while Bull Porter said that the Astros played their worst game of the year yesterday. They are 19 games below 500 at 22-41, and they committed 3 errors in the Royals' 7-2 victory yesterday. And their lineup for today, their regular catcher Jason Castro will get half the day off. He'll be the designated hitter Carlos Corporan. will be behind the plate, and he will bat third. Chris Carter in left field. He had a home run yesterday for Houston. And Ronnie Cedeno is back at shortstop after getting yesterday off. And they'll be facing Luis Mendoza for the first time as a starter. Mendoza pitched against the Astros back in 2008 with the Rangers and got a win out of the bullpen.
All right, a little bit high on the walks, the strikeout ratio there, but look, no big deal. They're in a different place right now for Mendoza. Now, the offense in the last 4 games they've won have outscored their opponents 22-8. Okay, why does that relate to Mendoza? Because he needs run support like the other starters. In his last 3 starts, he only got 4 runs. So that, push that aside, Mendoza has to focus on down, down, down. Sinkers, curveballs, finishing guys off, changeups. Use that defense and pick up the tempo a little bit and keep the mojo going from the starting staff.
And the Royals defense behind Mendoza today.
Oh, and you know it's important these guys can flash that leather, especially the spectacular plays. But Elliot Johnson, he's got 25 starts this year, but just the second one at shortstop as Ned Yost is resting Escobar, which is a good break for him. Johnson has the skills. He's got a tremendous throwing arm. He's got great feet. And so far for Ned, has been an unsung hero. He can do a lot. Plays anywhere you want him. And there's Paulino. How about that? Won't be much longer. We'll be seeing that big right-hander out there.
Former Houston Astro, Felipe Paulino. Danny Duffy is pitching in the minor leagues on his injury rehab. And Paulino about 1 month behind Danny Duffy. Pitching off the mound here at Kauffman Stadium.
Got him under the watchful eye of Dave Island. Checking him out. He's really strong. Legs are strong. Said his arm feels great. Nothing but a good sign and a pleasant decision that Ned's going to have later when he gets his right-hander and the lefty Duffy back.
And Dave Island's pitching staff at the moment has the second best ERA in the American League. Mendoza throws a strike to Jose Altuve, who did not play on Friday. He's been bothered by a sore groin and returned to the lineup last night and was 1 for 4 with an RBI. And Mike Moustakas tested right away and throws a strike over to Hosmer. 2 pitches and 1 down.
Oh, it's so nice for that ball to be hit to Moose, the first hitter of the game, so he could gain some confidence defensively. Last ball that was hit to him when he started, he threw it in the seats. So this right here is a good thing for Moose, especially to hear the Kauffman crowd here with passion give a real Moose chant. That was nice.
Thursday night against Minnesota when he threw it into the dugout suite, and Minnesota went on to score 3 unearned runs.
This guy means a lot to his team and the city, and has felt a world of pressure on him. However, his new hitting coach has helped him relieve some of that pressure by working him and saying, hey, look, find a way to relax at the plate and let your natural reactions take over.
And it's 0-2 on Castro.
And you know, you said Bo Porter said that his team.
I tried to say Bo Porter. I think I got it right on the 3rd try.
You're the
anyway,
best.
carry on.
Yeah, he no one cares about the other team. It's time to step on their neck. Ned wasn't getting any sympathy cards from Bo Porter or the rest of the league when they were in a valley losing games. So this is a man's game, and it's a high competition right here. You're all about wins, and he's hoping his team plays better. There's no question about that. But you got to catch them when they're down. Continue to sweep them and get that 5th game in a row here.
Hit hard to center and sinking, and David Lowe makes a tumbling play to take a base hit away from Castro.
Okay, we talked about the defense, and when you get consistency in all 3 areas as a manager, that's how you win games. You hope to get it, but so far we're seeing pitching and defense at its finest, and there's only 2 outs, first 2 batters of the game. Look at that. That's a really good read on contact coming in. Athletic roll. It's important. You don't hurt yourself out there. You roll. The ball takes you to a certain side. You like to dive on your chest, but if you can't, you roll. Tuck the shoulder.
And now Carlos Corporon, and he's after the first pitch and fouls it away. Well, moments ago, you heard Joel talking about George Brett's focus on getting the offense to score earlier. And they have been. And as far as what makes a manager happy, and a hitting coach for that matter too, because his hitters are playing defense, is being ready to play in the first inning. And Mendoza's already gotten 2 great plays behind him in this first inning. And he throws a fastball right by Corporon. No balls and 2 strikes.
Okay, the conditions here at the K are different than they were yesterday as far as the wind. Yesterday, the wind was pushing from the right field foul pole to the left. Today, it's from left to right. So it's going to help left-handed power hitters and also right-handers that go that way.
1-2. Also helps today, especially in the outfield. We have some big white fluffy clouds coming in from the northwest, so that'll help shade the sun from time to time and make it easier on the outfielders and the infielders on pop-ups. There are the flags showing you the direction of the wind out of the northwest.
Beautiful yard. Never gets old coming here. Never.
And a base hit to left field. Nice swing by Corporon, a late swing.
I dare you to go. Gordon dares you to go. Corporon, he took off out of that box like he thought he was going to get a double. First base coach Dave Clark says, you know what? That's a great stroke right there. But you better stay here at first or you'll be walking back to the dugout. The inning's over. Because Gordon takes extreme pride on balls like this. Look at how he circles around. See how he gets behind the ball? He's going to get behind it and gather some momentum up for his throw. Got to have good footwork in the outfield as well as the infield.
And now Carlos Pena, who is 1 for 7 in the first 2 games and batting just .234. Royals stack the right side of the infield against Pena, expecting him to pull the ball on the ground.
For Mendoza to get deeper in the game, he's got to be able to get ahead and finish guys off. He expended 95 pitches in 4 1/3 innings, giving up 3 runs in his last start against Minnesota. So keep the pitch count down, finish him off. Really nice sinker there.
I felt, now I was on radio that night, but Denny and I really felt like he had a tight zone in the first inning. Strike zone from the home plate umpire. And it seemed to affect him over the rest of his outing. He was just missing up, down, right, left, and had a lot of trouble controlling his fastball that night.
You know, that's also a part of the maturation process, or the maturing process of a young guy like Mendoza. You've got to be able to block out the distractions around you, and the umpire especially, because he'll take you out of your game if you let him. Can't let him. Ooh, beautiful execution. And you know, Mendoza knows that Pena, he's all or nothing. He hits him a long way and he's a pull hitter, but look at how that ball sunk down underneath his bat. Maturation's a little bigger word for me. I like maturity better.
Did you look it up in your thesaurus before you used it?
No, because I understand the meaning of that. The mentality. How mature are you?
Johnson back to his right, and the flip to second base. How about that? 6-5 force out. Johnson diving in the outfield, and Moustakas, the third baseman, covering at second base.
Tremendous communication and outstanding production on those 3 outs.
you're going to see some orange, not many, not much, but some, because the Astros are here, and you should see quite a bit of purple, as today is K-State Day. And head basketball coach Bruce Weber will be joining us here in the booth in the 4th inning. One of his players, Will Spradling, throughout the ceremonial first pitch. Here's the Royals batting order today against Lucas Harrell. Alex Gordon back in the lineup today after getting last night off. Mike Moustakas missed the last couple of games with Miguel Tejada in there, so he's back at third. David Lowe is in center as Lorenzo Cain gets the day off, and Jeff Francoeur is back in right, facing Lucas Harrell.
All right. Lucas Harrell has trouble with walks. Look at that ratio. Walks to strikeouts, that is not good. Okay? So when you see numbers like that and you're a Royals hitter, wait him out. Take some pitches. He's a sinker baller, not overpowering. When he's successful, he's getting a lot of ground ball outs. Slider, change up and a curve, but mainly he likes to come at him with sinkers. Good fielding pitcher. And last year, he was voted best pitcher on the Astros. He went 11-11. Pitcher of the year. He led the team in wins, innings pitched, starts.
2-1 on Alex. He is one of 3 Royals that has faced Lucas Harrell. The Royals saw him back in 2010 when he was pitching for the White Sox. And Alex, in his first at-bat back, hits it hard, but right to the shortstop Cedeno. One down in the bottom of the first.
Okay, the Astros not proud of the 3 errors they've made, and they sit alone at the bottom of the American League in errors. But Carlos Pena to the rescue at first base, as Carter had a tough time catching the ball yesterday at first base, so Pena's back in there. He's got a Gold Glove with the Rays. Houston trying to do all they can to try to get out of their little funk they're in.
They have lost 4 of 5, and prior to that, they had won 7 of 8. They had their best stretch of the year. And, of course, they've lost the first 2 here at Kauffman Stadium, losing 4-2 on Friday, and then the Royals wiping the Astros out 7-2 last night. 1-2 on Eric Hosmer, who had quite a night last night. Couple of hits, couple of walks, so he was on 4 times. And he has scored 4 times in this series.
Yep. He's been a run-scoring machine, and he's doing a lot of that going first to home. Guys have been giving him some chances to run because they're hitting the spots out there in the outfield, down the line in the gaps.
Out to Cedeno. 2 down in the bottom of the first. Lucas Harrell has a lot of friends and family here today. He grew up a Royals fan. He was born in Springfield, Missouri, grew up in Ozark, Missouri, which is about 15 to 20 minutes south of Springfield. Attended a lot of Royals games as a kid. And he remained a Royals fan even after he was drafted by the Chicago White Sox. When Kauffman Stadium was renovated in 2009, Lucas Harrell that offseason went to a Chiefs game and was curious about the new ballpark, so he signed up for a Kauffman Stadium tour before attending the Chiefs game. And I remember several years ago, well, it was 2010 when he was pitching for the White Sox, he said his greatest thrill here as a fan was not only catching a foul ball, but it was the very first pitch of the game he caught a foul ball, and now he allows a 2-out base hit to Salvador Perez, who continues to thrive in the number 3 hole.
So he caught a ball.
First pitch of the game.
Really?
The first batter of the game swung at the first pitch at a foul ball, and Lucas Harrell caught it.
Boy, you know, that's a little magical there, but how about that swing? That's a beautiful thing. Salvador Perez, he's been squaring up that ball ever since he got back.
So a 5-game hitting streak, and he adds to his .310 batting average. And then there's Billy Butler. Billy is 14 for his last 27 here at Kauffman Stadium. Head in the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Mentioned there's a few Royals who have faced Harrell when he was with the White Sox back in 2010. Billy was one of the 3. Billy Butler, Alex Gordon, Chris Getz played in that game. And Billy went 2 for 3 with a home run.
Tell you what, being 9 for 18 on this homestand, 4 doubles, 4 ribbies, he's getting back to being Billy. Hey, he's getting some balls that are drivable pitches, especially to the pull side, but he's able to wait and flick them down the right field line. He's getting knocks the other way. That's really been good for him. Let that ball get deep. He's seeing it longer. And the main thing, he's taking his walks. That's the big difference. Earlier when he was pressing a little bit, he was swinging out of the strike zone, and he was falling into their trap. Now he's back to being Billy.
And that is walk number 35 for Billy.
Take him. Keep taking him.
So at 2 outs, 2 base runners. Perez singles. Butler walks. That's 38 walks allowed by Harrell. That's the most of any pitcher in the American League. And a great opportunity for Mike Moustakas, who has already chipped in with a nice defensive play today.
Perfect time for Moose to look for a ball up and to hit a 3-run homer. No pressure, but the way that wind's blowing, sure would be nice to see if Moose could get a cookie and do something with it. To talk about scoring runs early, George wants to take the pressure off of Luis Mendoza. Perfect opportunity right here.
And when the Royals got off to that great start, they were scoring runs late. They had a lot of come from behind victories, and there's a reason why baseball, or at least the statisticians, keep track of come from behind wins. It's hard to win that way. So if you're doing that regularly, that's notable. So getting a lead early, like the game last night, it just gives everybody some breathing room. Everybody plays a little more free and easy. Did you sense that watching the game last night?
No question. Now right here, 0-2. Corporon goes out there, says, hey, look, what are we going to do with this guy here? We're going to waste a couple pitches, or what are we going to do? So Moose really can try to just take the pull mode out of his mind right here. Okay, he wants to get that run home. So if he's got to shorten up his swing and go to left field, do it, whatever it takes. Your first couple of shots early in the account, you take a couple swings for a homer. If it doesn't work out, now you got to compete and get the run home. That's what George has been emphasizing, especially with runners in scoring position.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Interesting, those two talking. Now you've got a pitcher and a hitting coach. I remember Don Baylor, when he was hitting coach of the Braves, once told somebody Greg Maddux would make a great hitting coach. And the reporter said, you meant pitching coach, right? He said, no, I meant hitting coach. Because he can pick up hitters' tendencies better than anyone he'd ever talked to. That would be a very interesting conversation to sit in on there. One guy who knows hitting and another guy who knows how to shut down hitting.
Great observation. And you know, whenever we played the Braves back in the day, he would be in the dugout watching our batting practice. Maddux would. And that bothered me. You know, I mean, he's watching BP batting practice tendencies. And that's the kind of student of the game that Maddux was. And that made me nervous, and some of my teammates are going, what's he doing out there looking, watching us? So it made me change, and sometimes it made us change our batting practice. And there's Moose. 0-2, takes the walk.
Well, Ned Yost even said yesterday, I know fans are tired of hearing this, but he really believes that Mike Moustakas is close. And one big sign that a struggling hitter is close is when they start taking walks. It's a sign that a hitter is getting back into good strike zone judgment.
No doubt about it. Brocale, look at him. He's trying to inject a little life here in his first inning for Harrell. And David Lowe, he's 1 for 3 with him loaded up this year, and that hit was a big one. So maybe he can do it again. Be ready early. First pitch. Harrell's going to try to come in there. And by the looks of Harrell's fastball, he's going middle away. So you can tell yourself All right, I'm going to jump on one early and hit it to the opposite field. Don't try to pull him here, especially with David Lowe's ability.
And that is too low. Ball one. David Lowe has driven in 7 runs since being called up. All 7 have come with 2 outs.
So right man, the right spot. Look at that. Runners in scoring position with 2 outs. Ooh, that's the one. Now, George Brett asked him earlier. He said, when you're up in situations like this, is it easier to hit 0-2 or ahead in the hitter's count? He says, ahead in the hitter's count. Then why are you going up there looking at the first couple pitches then? Go up there and swing.
Got it in on him just enough. 1-2.
So being aggressive with the bases loaded is important. Now he's down 1-2. He took that second pitch, which was his hit. That was the pitch he should have swung at and hit. And that one there was tough. That was a pitcher's pitch. So now he's going to be working him away again. Go to work. Try to scrap and claw.
Just missed. 2-2. David led off last night with Alex getting the night off. Got on base in the first inning and scored in the first inning. Now batting 6th, trying to drive in the runs. Perez at third, Butler at second, Moustakas at first, and that is up the middle. And Altuve slings it to second base for the force on Moustakas, and the Royals leave the bases loaded in the first inning. Today's league leaders brought to you by your Kansas City Toyota dealers. Well, the Royals are 6-3 since George Brett took over as hitting coach. The offense has spiked, and the pitching, only the Atlanta Braves have a better earned run average than the Royals. And I think most people felt when they heard George talk during that press conference in St. Louis that he was going to bring more than energy to the hitters. He was going to bring energy to the whole team, and that's been true. Mike Moustakas has made 2 great plays already today, both against the first batter of the inning. This time he handles a hot shot off the bat of J.D. Martinez, and that's 4 very good plays for all of Mendoza's 4 outs.
That ball was, you can't hit it any harder. Moose turned it into a marshmallow, made it look easy. Good hands, quick reaction, and he works on this. Very hard worker. Spring training, he sets himself up in front of the pitching machine with just a small glove and turns that thing on about 90, and he reacts. It's a great drill for the hot corner because it gets on you quick down there. You can see that those salt rings around his hat. That's because he works. He's a worker. He's got a little bit of that rosin bag on the back of his head too, Moose does, for a grip. He goes back up there and touches it every so often so he can get a good grip, just like the pitcher uses it.
3-0 on Chris Carter, who homered yesterday, his 13th of the year to lead the Astros. And now 4 of his last 7 hits have been home runs. A high strike, 3-1.
Yeah, the one he hit yesterday, it jammed him, and he's strong enough to hit it over the right field wall.
That's a 1-out walk.
Okay, yesterday his home run elevated a little bit on the inner half, but it was elevated.
So 1 on, 1 out, and now Trevor Crowe, who is in center field for the Astros today. 1 out of 7 with an RBI in this series. Batting at just .224. Carter has not attempted a stolen base this year. And you wouldn't expect him to do that today with Salvador Perez behind the plate. New opportunity for Trevor Crowe. He was a first-round pick of the Indians and got to the big leagues rather quickly. But over the past few years, he has dealt with surgery on his elbow and surgery to his shoulder. And so the Indians gave up on him, and now he is hooked on with the Astros. Switch hitter, can play all 3 outfield positions.
Every player out here has to deal with injuries. If you play long enough, you're going to get that injury bug, but you can't give up on yourself. You got to keep pushing.
Now Carter runs as the Astros try a hit and run, and it's 1-2.
Not a bad idea. Bo Porter, his team's having a hard time scoring runs lately too, so he's trying to get something going.
They have scored, the Astros have, just 4 runs in this series and just 5 runs in their last 3. Close play, and Carter gets back.
Dave Trimley, third base coach for the Astros. He's flashing them signs down there. Crowe, he takes his time. He don't get in that box till he's ready. Just in time to hit into a little 4-6-3.
Moustakas and Perez hustling in front of the Astros dugout, and it bounces foul. This is the 3rd time this year the Royals have won 4 in a row. They have not won 5 straight at all this season. They have scored 22 runs, the Royals have, during the 4-game winning streak, and they have only allowed 8.
Yeah, last time they had a 5-game winning streak was September in 2011, so they'd be welcome. But, you know, first things first. You got to focus on the next pitch and the next ball coming to them.
Man, what a save by Salvador Perez. Most catchers are lucky just to block a pitch like that, and Perez had it stick in the glove.
Yeah, but look at how he shifts his body. He tries to square everything up. Tries to get in front of it. And for such a big guy, the way he's able to move back there is impressive.
and got him to chase a curveball in the dirt. So Mendoza has his first strikeout, and that's out number 2 in the second inning.
Okay, Luis likes to bury this breaking ball. And after fastballs that are moving down and away from him, sometimes it's a little bit hard for the hitter to lay off of it.
And here's the number 8 hitter, Matt Dominguez, who has good power. He has homered 9 times. Hit a big 3-run home run against the Royals when they were in Houston. And the Astros, they have power in their lineup. They scored 12 runs, taking 2 out of 3 from KC in Houston, and 8 of the 12 home runs, 8 of the 12 runs that is, came by way of the home run. Fouled away. And looking at the numbers we just showed you, and this really isn't a big surprise because Minute Maid Park is a good home run hitter's ballpark. But look at that. They have the second most home runs at home in the league, but you get them out of Houston, and they are 13th and have just 1 home run so far in this series.
They got a bandbox yard.
Two and one.
I mean, right-handed hitters, they can hit homers in right field, opposite field there, because it's ball carries to right at the Minute Maid. They got a short porch in left. Mendoza, he's been pretty good against righties. 239 average, only 2 homers. Lefties have hit 315 with 4 homers.
Hits it to Moustakas, his former high school teammate, and that's the inning.
Go get him, Moose.
Hey, so we're going to make it up, and that's coming up on Wednesday with the Tigers in town. Jeff Francoeur fouls the first pitch away. So take a field trip with the kids out here and learn about weather with Fox 4 meteorologist Mike Thompson and his weather team. Demonstrations start at 10 a.m., and then the Royals and the Tigers play at 1:10. Royals.com, 1-800-6-ROYALS for tickets. 0-2 on Francoeur. Francoeur 1 out of 4 with a double and an RBI in the Royals' 7-2 win last night. One and two. Called a foul ball. The Astros Good job there on defense, not playing umpire and just trying to finish the play, not assuming that it was hit off of Francoeur's foot. And you could hear Corper on the catcher yelling, 1-1-1, throw to first. He didn't think it hit Francoeur's foot, but home plate umpire Tony Randazzo called it a foul ball. Two and two. Francoeur, Johnson, and Getz coming up in the second inning. In the first, with 2 outs and nobody on, the Royals loaded the bases with a single and 2 walks, but Harrell got out of it, getting David Lowe to hit into a fielder's choice.
Frenchie's had some good numbers against Houston. He's hitting .417.
On his hands
this year against them.
Three and two.
Okay, they're taking pitches. They've milked a couple of walks already from a guy, Harrell, that came in with 37 walks in 70 innings.
And Francoeur comes back from 0-2 and walks, similar to Moustakas last inning. And that's 40 walks on the year for Harrell, adding to his league high.
So he's having a hard time finishing guys off. Somebody that walks guys 0-2, he's nibbling. He's trying to get, he's trying to be too fine on the corners.
And that nibbles the corner. 0-1 on Elliott Johnson, who is at shortstop today. Now Cetus Escobar getting the day off. Escobar struggling at the plate at the moment. He is 0 for his last 12, and his batting average has dipped below .240. That may have been up. And no balls, 2 strikes.
Last year, Ned would just ride these guys out. Didn't have as strong a bench as he has now. And the fact that he's got Johnson and Tejada, Kataris, guys like that can come in and fill in and not miss a beat, has really allowed him to spell these guys. Give him an off day here or there. A mental break. Gordon, we didn't see a mental break from him till later in the season last year. Played 161 games, Alex did. So he was getting his day off yesterday. He's picking good spots to give these guys a rest.
To left field and right at Carter, who makes the play. That's out number 1, and Francoeur returns to first base. And now Harrell will face a former teammate in Chris Getz. Both guys drafted by the White Sox. Harrell was taken in the 4th round back in 2004 after helping Ozark High School to a state championship. Chris Getz was drafted out of college, out of the University of Michigan.
Okay, look at the avenues here. Chris Getz can go. He can shoot. He can shoot the ball by the first baseman, the third baseman. That's his game. Really wants to stay on top of the ball. Anything in the air is an out usually, unless it's well placed. For him to fit this lineup in that 9-hole, he needs to be able to hit that ball down and direct it on the corners. He's take advantage of the guys that are pulled in. They don't have as much range there. Short to the ball.
And now gets ahead 2-1. That's something else that's come up. And if you're looking at differences for the Royals since George Brett took over, longer at bats. Hitters working the count, working the pitcher, seeing more pitches. Not necessarily because they're up there to take, just because they are swinging at fewer pitches out of the strike zone. And slaps it to left. Carter makes a running play. And Francoeur has to hustle back. He was almost all the way to second base. So Getz lines out, 2 down.
Okay, 8 and 9 batters hit the ball hard to the left fielder. They worked the count and got him a pitch. Now the pitch was down a little bit, but Getz did a nice job of trying to get it in there.
And so here's Alex. He lined to short in the first inning. Every hitter goes through it. Even Alex, after a great start, a part in the season where they're just not getting hits. And Alex now is 10 for his last 60. So his batting average has gone from 352 to 308. Had a good swing first time up today and lined out to the shortstop Cedeno. So he had a strong month of April. He was the player of the month. Same thing in May, and now hitting just 130 in June. But plenty of time to turn that around as we are still in the very early parts of this month, June 9th.
He hasn't homered in a while. I see those flags blowing out to right field.
Didn't mean to do it. 2-1. And most of the time when a hitter's struggling, it's because of that. Not swinging at strikes.
They'll tell you they're not seeing it.
You name me a hitter who could have done something with that last pitch. So while it's frustrating when a hitter does that, at the same time, it can be an easy adjustment that, well, hey, you're not supposed to hit that pitch. That's not a strike. A little better swing, and he fouled it off of Corporon. 2-2.
Okay, he missed a little bit over, but caught a little bit of his forearm and underneath the chin. He was setting up away, and ball missed in. Gordon missed it, but it was down.
And 3-2. Harrell has already walked 3, including Francoeur to start the inning. Eric Hosmer is on deck.
Okay, if I can read Harrell's body language, he said to his catcher Corporon, "I'm coming in on this one." Hitter wasn't looking. See what he does.
And it's skied to left field. So Carter was busy in the inning. He has all 3 putouts. Royals get the leadoff man on, but do not score in the second inning. Royals and Astros, no score. Tuttle Inman, and today is her 27th birthday, a day she was not sure she would see. And she is sitting in the Buck O'Neil legacy seat today, watching the Royals and the Astros. Last June, on her 7-month wedding anniversary, Sarah had a seizure that was caused by a malignant brain tumor. Quickly had surgery and began treatments. And during the last year, she's had 2 more surgeries and defeated 2 blood infections. So we're glad to see her healthy and at the ball game as Ronnie Cedeno opens the 3rd inning with a double. And the Astros have a runner at second base for the first time.
Okay, he went with it. Out over the plate, but it was down. Just use his hands. See how Frenchie just took it and threw it? Didn't take a crow hop? That's how you play a ball off the wall. It saves more time. He knows all about that. A lot of experience. Good outfield.
Altuve trying to hit something to the right side, fouls it away.
Okay, watch him. Some guys will take 2 crow hops and throw it. It takes too much time. Just get it and get rid of it. That held him to just 2. Little things. Talking about little things. They turn into be big things in this game.
And that'll get the runner to third base. So Altuve gets the job done. The throw is high, but Hosmer comes down on the bag. Cedeno is at third with 1 out.
Okay, Bo Porter's got to be happy with that productive out. So Ned Yost will counter by bringing his infielders in.
Trying to put some pressure on Jason Castro. He lost a base hit on a diving, tumbling play by David Lowe in the first inning. Castro had a big hit for the Astros in the game on Friday. Pickoff play at third, and you could see Perez getting into throwing position as the pitch was coming in.
Moose is creeping over there. There's always a play that, or a signal that either Moose will give it or Salvi will give it. They keep an eye on each other when runners are on base, because Salvi, he's a guy who likes to throw around to the bases, try to pick guys off.
1-1.
I always just like to go to my ear. I get the pitcher's attention for the ear, or the catcher. I had a certain sign for the catcher, because the catcher, he's looking out there. He's looking at all of his players out there. He sees. He's the quarterback. The catcher is. And he's looking at the players, at his defenders. Little signs. Little signs are important.
Good breaking ball, 1-2. Okay, so you would have your sign. Would the catcher have a sign to acknowledge what you were thinking?
Yeah, he'd repeat the sign I gave him. If I went to the ear, he'd go to the ear. That way I knew. And so I would cheat on the pitch, and I would get in behind that runner. And that's kind of what him and Moose do. And Hosmer. Got to get their attention. Sometimes all you got to do is just wave your arm or something. If he's not looking, he'll see you.
Big strikeout. And he did it with a fastball. And now the infield can relax and move back to their normal depth. 2 down.
After throwing sinkers down low and you come up with a 4-seamer that's straight above the belt, you can get swing and misses. The hitter's thinking that ball's going to be down and away, and then it surprises him.
And now Corporon. He singled to left in the first inning. And a check swing foul ball.
He has the start to his stance like Albert Pujols, but only he's left-handed. Albert has a similar thing, except Corporon's both of his arms are almost extended, way out there. And then he brings it back down in the hitting position. A lot of guys that start differently, but they always end up in the same position when it comes to striking that ball, making contact. Look at him, those arms are almost extended.
Left field, Alex is there. Turning away from the sun, he makes the play. So a leadoff double, then a runner at third with one out, but Mendoza gets out of it.
Slugger and Willie the Wildcat having a little fun here on K-State Day at Kauffman Stadium. Of course, it's always barbecue day in Kansas City. And speaking of fun, you know, Billy has that hit it a ton barbecue sauce, and a shipment of it came in the other day to the clubhouse. And so Jeremy Guthrie decided he would bring it out there because he said, we need to hit it a ton. Now the guys are, look at Guthrie here. He's photobombing with a bottle of barbecue sauce, and he tweeted this out on his account at the Real J Guts the other night. Friday night, he tweets that little bedtime picture with the barbecue sauce. They are having fun with this. I think it is being called the rally sauce. I said, what all went into it, Jeremy? He said, nothing. We just need to hit it a ton. And Salvador said, bringing him luck, so that's why you saw him hugging it there. Said he wanted to love on that barbecue sauce a little bit, and the Royals will. We'll have to keep our eye on that dugout, guys. I think it'll be back.
It's all about character. That's beautiful. Things like that are a mental boost for the guys. That's good stuff. And the barbecue sauce is too. This is a guy who's benefited from a little bit of that barbecue sauce since being in that second spot. Last 4 games, he's got a .563 on base percentage, scored 6 runs. Driving. Doing what it takes to get on base, scoring runs.
Fastball in, and he strikes out, and that is Lucas Harrell's first strikeout. And we'll take a look at today's Sprint Unlimited Answers poll. Who is benefiting most from the change in the batting order? Eric Hosmer batting second. Salvador Perez hitting third. Billy Butler back to the number 4 spot. Or Lorenzo Cain dropping down to 6th. 0-1 on Sal, who is singled today. That's your guy?
I'm going with Salvi.
Not only Sal, but the Royals have benefited from his move to the number 3 spot. He is the second out in this inning, 1 for 2 today.
Ned's been having a hard time finding his middle of the order this year. And when you change the lineup around and it starts working, you start winning, you leave it alone. Salvador Perez has the power. He has the ability to drive in runs in that spot. I like what he's been doing.
And Perez became the 6th Royal to bat third this year when he moved there on Wednesday against Minnesota. 1-1 on Billy. He walked in the first inning. He's walked 35 times this year. So that puts him in the top 5 in the American League. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Billy wants that second pitch back. Same spot.
And grounds it right to Altuve. So that's Harrell's easiest inning. 10 pitches. Royals are down in order. And still no score at the end of 3. A lot of purple mixed in with the blue today, as it's K-State Day here at the ballpark. And joining us here in the broadcast booth, happy to have the men's basketball coach and Big 12 Coach of the Year, Bruce Weber. And Coach has his purple on. And are you a baseball fan?
Oh, I love baseball. It's just, our season just goes forever, and you don't get to a lot of games. This is actually my first of the year, but excited to be here.
It's been a fun year in Manhattan. I mean, just one conference title after another.
And then baseball last night, they down to 1 out at Oregon State, get a triple, drive them in, win in extra innings, and so you got 3 titles. Just amazing. Started with, of course, with Coach Snyder. What a magical season, being number 1, and the whole thing. And then ours a little bit unexpected, and we kept it going. And in baseball's just kind of topped it.
Well, I think there were a lot of sports fans. Whether they followed K-State closely or not, who were really rooting for you just because of the series of years leading up to your hiring and guys leaving, and Frank Martin replaces Bob Huggins, and then he takes off, and here's Bruce Weber, and you get a conference championship.
Yeah, it was fun. It's our players, just a great group. Rodney Magruder, Jordan Henriquez, and Martavius Irvin, the seniors, just really bought in, and that was really so important for us.
Coach, what keeps you busy this time of year?
Oh God, I wish I could tell you I had nothing to do, but we have cat backers, the fan caravan. We go around the state. We just really got done with recruiting. Recruiting went up to about May 1st, and then we went on the cat backer swing. And then we got all our guys yesterday. Our guys are all coming back on campus. We'll start workouts tomorrow with them, and they're in summer school. And then recruiting goes again in July, so we'll have that period. So it's different. When I got in coaching, you usually had a long time ago. Your summers were, you had a lot of time to relax, and coaches played golf and all that stuff. And it just doesn't happen. It's year round now.
Coach, what do K-State fans, basketball fans, have forward to look to this year? I mean,
Oh,
what are they looking forward to?
You know, we lost. Obviously, you lost. You know, I mentioned the 3 seniors, and that's that. You know, Rodney's going to be one of the greatest players in the history. To lose him and his work ethic, all that stuff. But we got a ground out, right? No.
Hey, you just take right over, Coach. We don't want you.
I got to help you guys.
There you go.
Got
hey.
him. We still got him. But we have a good group of freshmen. You know, you take over a job, you're scrambling. We had to recruit for last year, get involved with the new guys, and we were very fortunate to get a couple guys out of Texas. Marcus Foster was a 3A Texas Player of the Year. He also ended up on a Parade All-American team, so he came in town yesterday. Wesley Awandu's about a 6'7" swing kind of guy that he grew 6 inches as a junior, and a young man from Houston. And then I think the one, he's already on campus, Javon Thomas, young man from New York. Point guard, great quickness. He was MVP of the national tournament, prep school tournament this season. And, so I think he got 3. And then Nigel Johnson, another young man that came, four freshmen that'll really bring some excitement. Now, the problem is we're going to have to play him right away. And just like playing a rookie, you're going to have the inconsistency.
Your sport, I think, at the college level is it seems it has changed so much over the past 10 or 15 years. I mean, you spend all this time getting to know kids and recruit them and get them there. And at Southern Illinois, at Illinois, when you were coaching at Purdue, I mean, you probably figured, I'm going to have this kid for 3 or 4 years now. And, I mean, nowadays you have no idea how much time they're going to spend on campus.
No, it's really different. One, if you get the great ones, they're probably going to go to the pros, and I've had that I had a Darren Williams left early. Obviously, when they're that good, I mean, you got to anticipate you're only going to have them a year or two and just make the most of it and hope they have a great career, and that makes you guys look good. But the other part, the transfer thing is the thing that's really kind of changed over the last, I think 5-6 years. We set a record, Division I basketball with transfers. 3 years ago, we topped it 2 years ago, and then last year it was almost 500 kids transferred around the country. So it's we got to strike out here, and I'm keeping you going here. So
that's good. Hey, Coach, one of your guys, Will Spradling, threw out the first pitch. Now, can we show that? Can you critique him a little bit? I mean, can you analyze this for him here?
The whole thing is we asked Will to do it, and he chickened out at first. I called him back. I said, Will, you're turning down a chance. He's a Kansas City young man. Not much speed, but not too bad. Not too bad. He got it right to the glove. That's what I was happy about.
That ball's up in the sun, and it is caught by Eric Hosmer. Well, hey, we'd love to keep you and chat with you, but I know a lot of people want to spend some time with you, and you want to watch the game. But, Coach, thanks for stopping by the booth.
Well, I appreciate it. It's great to have purple here, and it's great cheering for the Royals. Hopefully we can keep them hot.
Good luck, Coach.
Thank you.
Have another great season.
Thanks.
Baseball is brought to you by Panera Bread. Try pasta the Panera way. Live consciously, eat deliciously. And by Steel, available exclusively at a servicing Steel dealer. Visit steeldealers.com. And by Ford, see the new F-150 at your Midwest Ford dealer today. And we got quick pitched as we begin the bottom of the fourth inning. So didn't give us time to come back from commercial, but Mike Moustakas out in a ground ball to second base on the first pitch of the bottom of the fourth. So Lucas Harrell, who was in a lot of trouble in the first inning when the Royals put 3 on with 2 outs. He did not allow a run, gave up a leadoff walk in the second, and now he's retired 7 in a row and 8 of the last 9. And it was David Lowe whom Harold got in a ground ball to get out of that bases loaded mess in the first inning. Bounces it off the plate, foul. It's interesting talking to Bruce Weber, and we were visiting with him in between innings, and I got to think that's got to be the toughest college sport to coach. When you guys got transfers all the time, you got guys coming in for a year or two, and with most of them, you've got them for a year or two, and yet you have to teach and preach that team concept in a very short period of time, as opposed to, well, we've got this kid for 3, 4, maybe 5 years if he redshirts to instill that team concept. Now, I mean, they're off campus as quickly as they get on campus.
Yeah, it's great to talk to the coach, and you could tell by, gosh, no wonder he's a motivator. Good energy.
And now Altuve on a ground ball to second base retires David Lowe. So 8 in a row retired by Lucas Harrell.
Okay, and the last 2 innings, he's got a strikeout and 4 ground ball outs to the second baseman. That's his game. When he's pitching good, he's getting ground balls.
Jeff Francoeur was down 0-2 in the second inning, but he worked a walk, and that fastball rides inside, ball 1. Just missed the outside. 2 balls and no strikes. And another ground ball. Cedeno throws out Francoeur. So Harrell has retired the last 9 Royals. Everything on the ground, and no score at the end of 4.
Goes back to last night, 2 very long contests. This one, Rajai Davis, the walk-off in the 18th inning against Texas. Game time 5:28, topped by this, a game time of 6:12. 25. That's Adam Echevarria with the go-ahead RBI in the 20th inning. That would be 38 innings of baseball between those two games, guys.
That just doesn't sound right.
Oh,
In the 20th inning.
oh, that's a nightmare for a manager. You could ruin your whole bullpen for a month after one game like that.
Well, and how about the job last night of Kansas City native Excelsior Springs, Sean Markham, who pitched 8 innings of relief for the Mets.
Now
that's saving a bullpen.
That is, Joel. That guy's a hero in that clubhouse today. Gary, that manager, he had to take him out to dinner or buy him a steak or something.
Hosmer backhand play gets it to Mendoza in time to get Trevor Crow one down in the 5th inning. Well, if you're looking to collect the last 2 Hot Dog Derby bobbleheads, the Bobble Dog Bundle ticket package is the best way to get the final 2 mustard and relish bobbleheads at a discount. The package starts at just $22. You can get your bundle today at Royals.com/hotdogderby or at 1-800-6-ROYALS. I think I heard that, and this is a stat we've been going over quite a bit with the Royals trying to bust out of an offensive drought. I think I heard the Mets were 0 for 19 with runners in scoring position in that 20-inning game.
Yeah, that'll make your press conferences a little tough, especially after you lose one of those games. And I watched Terry Collins, the Mets manager, wasn't very happy with the production of his players.
You spent some time with him in Anaheim, didn't you?
He was the manager with the Angels in 1999. His last year there, they let him go, and I was his first-year broadcaster. Got to experience it a little bit.
Francoeur toward the corner in right field. The retired Dominguez. He is 0 for 2, and now Luis Mendoza is starting to hit his stride. He has retired 8 in a row.
Hey, Ryan, 0 for 19 and 22 left on base.
Other than that.
Yeah, well, on the flip side, remember, this is 6.5 hours of baseball. Miami only had 4 times runners in scoring position. They're 2 for 4.
Wow. Well, let's keep our eyes on the disabled list the next couple of days with the Rangers, Blue Jays, Mets, and Marlins, because remember that, was it an 18-inning game between the Angels and the A's earlier this year?
Yeah, that went over 6 hours.
And I want to say at least 3 members of the Oakland A's went on the disabled list the next day or the day after that as a result of standing around for 6 hours and playing 18 innings.
Unlike any other sport, baseball's not on a clock.
And that's a part of this game that is misunderstood. You know, how do you get hurt in baseball? There are very few collisions. You know, oftentimes you're just standing around. But it is the standing around that results in a lot of the hamstring injuries, the lower back injuries. And you're standing around for 3 hours, let alone 4, 5, 6 hours, and then all of a sudden you have to start running full speed after standing around. That's when those big muscles begin to break down. Not a lot of standing around for David Lowe as he runs into right center field. And now Mendoza has retired the last 9 Astros. No score.
Both teams here that are familiar with each other. Bench coach Eduardo Perez for Houston has known the Royals assistant hitting coach, new assistant hitting coach Pedro Grifol for years. They were actually classmates together for one semester in high school before Eduardo moved back to Puerto Rico, and then they ended up being teammates for 3 years at Florida State. They were best friends, sidekicks, as Eduardo told me, roommates. He said, if you saw Eduardo somewhere, you saw Pedro in that same spot. If you saw Pedro somewhere, you saw Eduardo there, as we're going to see the fly ball to Chris Carter. And Eduardo was a second-team All-America. Pedro was a first-team All-America. And Eduardo Perez telling me about Pedro Grifol. He said the Royals have one of the best hidden secrets in coaching out there. And I'm not just saying that because he's my friend. He's dedicated, honorable, organized. He cares. He respects the game. He said this is a guy that has played it. This is a guy that has coached it. This is a guy that's been in the front office. And they've got themselves a winner. Another pop-up there. This one to the catcher. But he said that this guy has done it all, and he's bilingual. He said this guy is going to help them for a long, long time.
I'll tell you, Joel, just being around him in the days since he's joined the Royals, you can tell. And Eduardo Perez, everything he says seems accurate. And being around Pedro Grifol, seems very organized. There's just a very calm confidence about him. Very intelligent. There he is with the chart. So he is, and every hitting coach has their own system, but keeping track of pitches and approaches. And he's going to be more of the numbers and the scouting report video analyst versus George Brett, who's going to be more the hands-on mental approach side of the hitting coach tandem.
And now you can't tell by the way they're looking, because you can't see their eyes in the glasses, but they're making eye contact with each other during this game.
I was talking to Pedro before the game today, and he and I were starting to there's the hand gesture over to Eduardo Perez. We're starting to go through the guys on those Florida State teams where Perez and Grifol played, and they went to the College World Series in 1989 and 1991. And right off the bat, he named 6 players that eventually played in the big leagues from those teams. And he thought maybe 1 or 2 more. As Alex flies out to deep right. And Lucas Harrell and Luis Mendoza really on a roll. Harrell has retired the last 12 Royals. You can book your hotel room at druryhotels.com/triple play and take advantage of the Royals Triple Play Pack. You'll have the opportunity to purchase Royals tickets and Worlds of Fun passes at 30% discount. That's a great summer weekend. the Royals, and you can stay at the Drury Inn and Suites right on the other side of I-70, and then take 435 just a few minutes north of here and spend time with the kids at Worlds of Fun. You can book that now at druryhotels.com/triple play. One pitch, one out for Luis Mendoza. So the pitchers have really taken over the game. The Royals had a great scoring opportunity in the bottom of the first inning with 2 outs and nobody on. They took advantage of 2 walks and a single to load the bases, but Lucas Harrell got out of it. The Astros had a runner at third with nobody out in the third. Mendoza worked around that, and now Mendoza has retired the last 10 Astros, and Harrell has retired the last 12 Royals. And now it's 0-2 on Castro. And as far as Mendoza and Harrell on the radar gun, both at 93 in our Time Warner Cable Ultimate Pitch Speed Comparison. And when Mendoza got around the runner at third with 1 out in the third, his big out was a strikeout of Castro. That was the second out of the inning. And then he got Corporon to fly out to left field. So Castro has that strikeout, and he is lined to center on a diving play by David Lowe.
Yeah, Luis Mendoza, he's really executing down in the zone today.
Just outside, 2-2.
He's mixing all of his pitches up on him. Pitch count a lot better than his last start. He got 95 and just 4 1/3 last time out.
Still 2-2. Mendoza is trying to continue a streak today of consecutive starts allowing 3 earned runs or less. Trying to make it 7 in a row today. And we'll do it again.
You know, folks that are fortunate enough to have Crown Club seats, especially the young ones, sit down there by that screen, and when a foul ball comes right to them, the screen, they flinch, they jump. Look at those girls were like, wow, that was coming right for us, Dad. Get down there in the action, you can see how fast that ball's moving.
3-2. George Brett often quotes the dirt rule, which states the farther you get away from the infield dirt, the easier and the slower this game seems. Chris Getz coming back onto the infield dirt, and he makes a play for the second out. Time for our AT&T trivia question for today. Who are the 4 players to surpass George Brett in career hits since he retired in 1993? Derek Jeter.
About Nomar Garciaparra.
I don't think he got to 3,000 hits. In fact, I know he didn't get to 3,000 hits.
Craig Biggio.
That's a good one. That would be an in the house. Biggio isn't here, but he's a former Astro. Now 12 in a row retired by Mendoza as he gets Carlos Corporon, and still no score at the end of 5 1/2. Slam inning. Our contestant today is Larry Bruno from Overland Park. If the Royals hit a home run in this inning, Larry, you will win $2,400. A grand slam out of the park will be worth $25,000 from Sonic and the Kansas City Royals. So good luck, Larry, with the Royals sending up Eric Hosmer, Salvador Perez, and Billy Butler against Lucas Harrell, who has retired the last 12 Royals and 13 of the last 14. So the Royals are without a base runner since Jeff Francoeur walked to lead off the second. Hosmer is grounded to short and struck out swinging. And that's hit right over the bag, and Pena back to the bag. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Yeah, we've been seeing that 1 pitch, 1 out here for the last couple innings of these guys. I don't know the sense of urgency of swinging at the first pitch. It's not getting him anywhere.
Here are the results from our Sprint Unlimited Answers poll. 51% agree with HUD. Salvador Perez has benefited most from the change in the batting order, going to number 3. And right behind him, Eric Hosmer. And sitting in the Crown Club seats today, Rhonda Randolph of Kansas City, Kansas. And we mentioned Rhonda because she participated in our Sprint Unlimited Answers poll. She responded to the bounce back text message for a chance to win tickets in the Crown Club, and she was a winner and joined the game today.
Yeah, we appreciate the votes from you fans. We can't do this without you. Thank you so much for your participation.
2 Crown Club tickets to a future Royals game. What a great day to be outside. Nice crowds over the weekend. Big walk-up crowd on Friday. Almost 25,000. And 28,000 were here last night as Perez gets it past Cedeno, and the Royals have their first base runner since the second inning.
All right, courtesy of a bad hop there. He'll take it. Cedeno looked like he was on that. At the last minute, ball just hopped up over his glove. That's perfect for Salvi.
So a base hit. The Royals have 2 hits in 5 1/3 innings, and Perez has both of the hits. And now Billy, he walked in the first, grounded to second in the third, and Harrell throws a strike. Needles the outside 0-2. It would be easy to criticize the Royals for the little they have done so far against Lucas Harrell, a pitcher with 7 losses and an ERA of almost 5. But he's been pitching well lately, and on Tuesday he allowed just 1 earned run in 7 innings to the Orioles. So that's carried over into today. And Bo Porter commented after that start against the Orioles that the big change that he has seen in Lucas Harrell is his ability to just slow down the game, slow himself down, and when the opponent puts men on base, that he doesn't get too caught up in the moment. And he's done that all day today, going back to the first inning when he got around the bases loaded. That's the first double play turned by the Astros, and no score at the end of 6.
Defense has been marvelous behind Mendoza. Moose early, first 2 innings, he made some nice plays. And low, he stayed low on that with a nice athletic roll. Like to see the skills out there. Elliott Johnson says, yeah, that is Johnson. He was on the second base side. I'm thinking that was Getz, but they were playing him to pull, and he made an outstanding play. Look at Moose. He surrounded that ball, stayed on top. That helps Mendoza big time.
Now you look at that collection of defensive plays and you think, wow, it's been a really good day today for the Royals defensively. And that's true, but all those plays, that was the first 4 outs for Luis Mendoza, so the defense was ready to go. Mike Moustakas looked like he just took his sunglasses off and threw them in the camera bay on the third base side.
Yeah, I saw Moose run all the way over to the side over there. Mendoza had to wait for him. And yeah, says, hey sir, would you like a pair of free sunglasses? The lens fell out.
That'll do it. And there's a pretty good cloud cover at the moment, so I'm not worried about losing a ball in the sun. 1-1 on Carlos Pena. So the Royals snapped the string for Harrell, who had retired 13 in a row. Perez singled in the bottom of the 6th. And now Mendoza has retired 12 straight. Twice Pena has grounded out. That fielder's choice in the first inning was a 6-5 fielder's choice, with the shortstop on the right side of second base flipping to Mike Moustakas, who is covering at second because of the overshift to the right. Now 1-2 on Pena. So Moustakas pretty much playing in the shortstop position right there, where he played in high school and very early in the minor leagues. He had to run way over to his left to get to second and cover the bag after Johnson went diving on the grass in center field.
Yeah, communication is really important whenever you're shifted out of position. Gotta make sure everybody knows where you are, who's taking what. As an infielder, you got to be thinking ahead what you're going to do with that ball.
2-2 on Pena. Pena has 6 home runs. He has hit as many as 46 in a year. That was for the Rays in 07. And that's still a Tampa Bay team record.
You know, he's one of their team leaders. He made an out earlier in this game and he dove into first base.
Hosmer had it go off of his glove on a difficult short hop. So a base hit for Pena, and that snaps Mendoza's string of retiring 12 in a row. Well, fans, if you're looking for a unique Father's Day gift, have Slugger personally deliver that gift to your dad with a Sluggergram consisting of a Royals koozie, a bottle opener, a t-shirt, tickets, and more. And deliveries are available June 14th through the 16th. Royals.com/slugger to book your gift now. Is a koozie, is that deal that you put your drink in to keep it cold? Is that what a koozie is?
That's what they call that.
All right. Not to be confused with a jacuzzi,
right,
which is used to keep somebody warm. Did you know it was called a koozie?
No, but
so if I went to your house and you offered me a cold drink, I'd say, do you have a koozie with that, Hud?
No, but
okay.
But I like telling people the great thing about baseball is you learn something every day. So I didn't know
including
that.
Okay, so your takeaway today so far is that you've learned what a koozie is.
That's right.
Okay. Pena runs, stops, heads back to first, and Perez tried to pick him off.
Pena tried to advance on a ball yesterday with 5 runs down on a ball that kicked away from Salvador Perez. I talked about how aggressive he is. He slid in head first today earlier on a play at first base. He was out, but you know, the fact that their veteran guy is playing that hard, that's big for the rest of these young Astros.
And pass gets into right center field. Francoeur gets to it quickly, so Pena will only advance to second. Martinez has his first hit, and the Astros have 2 on for the first time all game.
Well, one thing's for sure, Bo Porter, he's not going to ask Carter to bunt here. Good inside-out swing. Carter's their power guy.
And it looks like somebody is about to start warming up as George Kataris and Bill Duplessis, the Royals bullpen coach, both putting on the gear, and they're about to pull the tarp back, and Aaron Crow will begin to warm up. Mendoza is at 81 pitches. And a strike to Carter.
Okay, keep that ball down on him. See if he can get him to hit a ground ball double play. Help Mendoza big time here.
Carter also leads the leagues in strikeouts. He has struck out 89 times. One ball, one strike.
Okay, that's a nice place to miss on a big guy like this. Keep it down there.
And when I say the leagues, American League and National League, 89 strikeouts, that's 11 more than Dan Ugla of the Braves. Boy, the Royals had a great chance at a pickoff at second base. They had the surprise element taken care of, but Mendoza's throw was to the wrong side of second base.
Good job by Chris Getz.
I think if that's on the other side of the bag, the Royals have an out.
I think so, but more importantly, he was able to catch that ball and keep the runners from advancing.
Popped up. Hosmer is out and into foul territory. He caught a little bit of the sun, so that made it a more difficult play. But he retires Carter for the first out.
You better believe it. He's all by himself on that one. He had no help from Getz. Look at him. He's squinting. He's doing all he can with that super slow motion camera. We can see him even blink his eyes. It's not as easy as that looked.
All right, let's take a shot at the AT&T trivia question. Who are the 4 players to surpass George Brett in career hits since George retired in 1993? Derek Jeter, Paul Molitor, Eddie Murray. Now hang on, we don't have the 4th one yet. You want to take a shot?
I thought it was Biggio.
All right, give us a moment. How about Barry Larkin? Was he a 3,000 hit guy? The foul ball back our way. Larkin get to 3,000 hits? I don't think Barry Bonds got there with all the walks. Tony Gwynn. It's got to be Tony Gwynn, right?
You would think. Sounds like a good guess to me.
Caught. No chance for a double play as the runners were heads up. Pena gets back to second. Martinez back to first. I think we have a winner. No. Cal Ripken Jr. So I guess we were talking American League hitters.
So I'm not the only one who doesn't read well. Good question.
One hop to Moustakas. Astros had 2 on, nobody out. And Mendoza retires Carter, Crow, and Dominguez with the ball not getting out of the infield. Bank Midwest. Come see the difference common sense can make. Bank Midwest, where common sense lives. Well, we know he can close out games, and we know he can analyze baseball on television, but did you know that Royals Hall of Famer Jeff Montgomery can play the organ? Let's listen in. How about that?
You see him grooving with the tune? He's liking his work.
He was feeling it.
He was.
You know, certain musicians, they feel it. You know, they just get into the moment. Some guys play the music. Some others feel the music. By the way, Monty, you kidding me?
But to entertain the people.
Yeah. Wow. Now, here's Monty a year ago.
He wasn't into it.
Well, it's a different version.
Yeah.
This is the more standard version. And it was last year was his first time too, so he's a little nervous, you know.
Yeah, he missed a note.
But this year, I mean,
he was swinging.
There was no holding back.
No, he's into the winning streak they got going here now.
No score to the bottom of the 7th inning. Luis Mendoza entered the game with a 1-3 record and an ERA of 4.76. Lucas Harrell entered the game with a 4-7 record, and his earned run average was 4.97. And tonight, or today, Mendoza's held the Astros to no runs, 4 hits in 7 innings. Harrell has held the Royals to no runs, 2 hits in 6 innings. As Moustakas goes the other way, and Carter will make the play in left field. Moustakas is 0 for 2 with a walk. Royals have just 1 hit since the first inning and 2 hits total. Both base hits from Salvador Perez.
Okay, the 3 walks, those were in the first couple innings. Since then, Harold settled down nicely, executing his pitches. When he's on, he's giving up a lot of ground ball outs, and that's what we've seen.
Ball 1-2, David Lowe. He was grounded to second base twice.
You know, Harold in spring training, he was up for the #1 starting job between him and Bud North. So he settled in for that #2 spot. He's been pretty consistent with his location the last couple of games. He didn't walk a batter in his last start.
And that was the first time all year he didn't walk a single batter. So you mentioned that he leads the league in walks. He also had a .296 opponent's batting average, so that's a lot of base runners. But so far today, the Royals have had 5 runners, including only 2 hits, and both of those were singles. 2 and 2 against David Lowe. Tell you something else he has done today. This is to the benefit of his defense. He is not fussed around at all in between pitches. He gets the ball back from his catcher and he is ready to go.
He's got nice tempo, especially when you're in a groove like he's in. Don't give that hitter any time to think.
And back to Harrell. A long underhand toss to Pena for out number 2. Well, parents, there's still time to sign your kids up for Slugger's Blue Crew, brought to you by the Learning Quest 529 Education Savings Program. Members receive a gray batting practice jersey, a Royals hat, blue wristbands, ticket vouchers, priority access for the Sunday Fun Run. All that for just $25. You can sign up now at Royals.com/Blue Crew. And let me tell you something. Don't get too caught up in the way the weather is right now. If you come out here with your kids in July and August and you have priority access to the Sunday Fun Run, that's worth the $25 alone. Francoeur is tagged out by Pena after the wild throw by Cedeno. And Harrell is back at it again. 3 up, 3 down in the bottom of the 7th. 12.
Toronto, Adrian Beltre going deep. Cleveland has now lost 7 in a row as Detroit sweeps that series. Big Papi pacing the Red Sox over the Angels at Fenway Park. Baltimore all over Tampa Bay. Matt Moore just 5 innings pitched and 8 earned runs. He has been so good this year. White Sox leading against the A's at U.S. Cellular Field, and the Yankees and Seattle coming up. Our Mazda game break takes us to that Detroit game, and Don Kelly going deep off of Justin Masterson for the 3-run home run, as Detroit now will be heading on a plane to Kansas City for the next 3 games. And in case you guys care, over in the National League, after those 20 innings yesterday, the Marlins and Mets are tied at 4 in the 9th.
Oh, that's all they need.
Chevy call to the bullpen. Aaron Crow takes over in the top of the 8th. Aaron last pitched in the Minnesota series on Wednesday. Much different situation from this one. He came on with the bases loaded in the 7th on Wednesday and retired the Twins' Chris Herman to end the inning. Now he comes on with in a clean inning. They'll get the 9, 1, and 2 hitters: Ronnie Cedeno, Jose Altuve, and Jason Castro. Cedeno doubled leading off the 3rd. He got to third base with 1 out, but did not score against Luis Mendoza. Now he strikes out against Crow to begin the 8th inning.
Gets ahead with that good mid-90s fastball, finishes guys off with sliders. Staying on top, good form. Shoulders lined up at home plate.
Joel mentioned the Tigers on their way to Kansas City for a 3-game series beginning tomorrow night, continuing Tuesday night, and on Wednesday afternoon. And the Royals will have quite a shift when it comes to the pitching that they will face. Although Lucas Harrell has been great today, the Astros are last in the league in ERA. They have pitched better than that in this series, and they've been pitching a lot better in the past couple of weeks. But the Royals really have a chance to have their hands full in the 3 upcoming games. And with regard to the pitching matchups, Doug Fister, then Max Scherzer, who's 8-0, and then Justin Verlander, 8-4. Altuve picks up his first hit as he singles into left center field. He is 1 for 4.
Yeah, those 3 Tigers starters are 21-7. Of course, they don't have any problem with run support, and they come right at you.
Guthrie, Davis, and Shields going for the Royals. Justin Verlander and James Shields. That'll be a rematch of a day game in Detroit earlier this year.
That's right. Our guy has a better ERA.
A 1-on, 1-out against Aaron Crow, bringing up Jason Castro. Fouled away, 0-1. Castro was the biggest out for Luis Mendoza in his 7 innings. Castro batted with a runner at third and 1 out in the 3rd inning, and he struck out. And then Mendoza retired Corporon to get out of the inning. Castro had a big hit for Houston in the game on Friday night. The Royals had a 2-1 lead in the 7th inning, and with 2 outs, Castro doubled against James Shields to tie the game. The Royals went on to win, but they scored in the 8th, denying Shields a victory. Now Tim Collins is warming up in the Royals pen. 1-2.
Altuve, he'll run. He's got 9 stolen bases, been caught 4 times. Castro will take the half a day off, being a DH today. He's been catching most of the workload for the Astros.
2-2.
Nice location. Castro's first 2 swings looked like he was trying to get one up in that wind.
Pulled foul past first base coach Dave Clark.
Crow's only given up a 214 average to lefties. 1 homer.
Close at first base. The Astros have not even attempted a stolen base in this series. Broken bat, Hosmer, diving play. No outs. You could tell he really wanted to go to second base.
Yeah, sometimes on the transfer from glove to hand with a big glove like that, you lose the handle. That's what happened. You know, Hosmer is very, very solid at first base. You don't see that very often. That glove is a large glove. Sometimes it gets a little floppy.
Interesting, he's charged with an error. It was a diving play. That was the most difficult part of the play. And the scorer figuring that once he had it in his glove, even though it took beyond an ordinary effort to make the play, that there was a chance for an out. So still hit with an error. So first and second, 1 out with the number 3 hitter Carlos Corporan, who is 1 out of 3. And that is a soft liner to Johnson. He'll run to the bag for a double play. So Johnson picks up Hosmer. The Astros are scoreless in the 8th. More good defense for the Royals today.
Timely. Now they need some runs.
K-State Day at Kauffman Stadium. We had head basketball coach Bruce Weber up here in the booth. And before the game, Will Spradling of Overland Park And Shawnee Mission South throwing out the first pitch. Wildcats this year in football, basketball, and baseball won a Big 12 conference title, joining just the Texas Longhorns as the only schools to accomplish that in the Big 12. Chevy call to the bullpen. Good news for the Royals. Lucas Harrell is out. Hector Ambrose is in.
Okay, a little bit harder stuff. He can reach 95 with his fastball. He's more comfortable in the low 90s, but he's openly more of a four-seamer, not as heavy a sinker. His out pitch is his slider.
Elliott Johnson, Chris Getz, Alex Gordon coming up.
He's got a changeup he'll use occasionally.
Lucas Harrell was coming off a very good start on Tuesday against Baltimore, and he carried that into today with 7 scoreless innings. At one point, he retired 13 Royals in a row and finished by retiring 17 of 18. As Johnson hits it hard to right field, but he hits it right to Martinez. Elliott is 0 for 3. And for Harrell, that was especially sweet for him. I mentioned earlier in the game that he grew up in Ozark, Missouri, just south of Springfield, as a big Royals fan, attended many games here as a fan. So at this ballpark, in front of a lot of family and friends, it's just 7 scoreless innings. Ball 1 to Chris Getz.
Okay, the Royals have scored 76 runs this season from the 7th inning on. And that's 7th in the American League. So they've been getting their share of runs late in games, especially after the starter, if he's been dealing like Harrell did.
2-0 on Getz. He is lined to left. He also tried to bunt his way on, and he fouled to the catcher with that attempt in the 5th inning. On the ground, right side, Altuve dives. No chance with Getz speed. And the go-ahead run is on with 1 out.
As a hitter, if you hit a ball, pull a ball like that, you can see the play as you're running to first base. And that helps you pick up a little extra step. And for Getz, that was no problem. He beat that by plenty. Altuve, the ball wasn't hit real hard, so that gave Getz a little bit more time to get there. Alex is overdue for a big hit.
And I think if you listen very quietly, you can hear Chris Getz's motor revving. He's got a nice lead over at first base. He is 3 out of 3 in stolen base attempts. And he's going. Pitch is outside. The throw is not in time. He got under the tag. He went right through Cedeno's legs and kept his feet on second base.
Yeah, he got a nice takeoff. Okay, and that jump is everything for a base stealer. Gordon being patient, he took it. Good pitch for Corcoran to be able to throw on, and he just wasn't down low with the throw. Gordon, a .370 hitter this year with a runner in scoring position.
2-0. Alex has lined to short and flied out twice. And he is overdue. Alex has just 10 hits in his last 62 at-bats. And up the middle into center field. Gets around third. Crow got to the ball quickly, but he throws it near the Royals dugout. And Alex Gordon is going to end up at third base. So the Royals take a 1-0 lead as Alex Gordon, and again, he was due, and he comes through in the 8th.
Trevor Crow, the center fielder, he had an idea that he could throw out Chris Getz, and he airmailed the cutoff man. That's what's keeping this inning alive. Now, nice contact, solid stroke. He didn't try to do too much. He wanted to hit that ball up the middle, hit it hard enough, and the ball was struck so well, Crow in center field thought he could get it, but man, the release point on his throw, you could see, and Alex Gordon, he read it. That ball was way over everyone. He whiffed the throw, and Gordon goes all the way to third base. They still got a little action going in this inning here. With him at third, less than 2 outs. Pressure.
And I think Jeremy Guthrie in his right hand has his bottle of Billy's barbecue sauce. There it is. Going to place it next to Elliott Johnson.
Elliott's going to take a drink.
In his eye.
All right. With the infield drawn in here, Hosmer's got some options. He wants to be able to try to focus that ball hard past the pitcher if he can, or get up underneath it for a sac fly or more. Big run out there sitting 90 feet away for insurance.
32nd RBI for Alex, his 8th RBI, putting the Royals in front this year. Big slow curveball for a strike to Hosmer. So far he is 0 for 3. He is facing Ambrose for the first time. So a single, a stolen base, an RBI single, and a throwing error, and that puts Gordon at third with 1 out. And into center field for a base hit. 2-0 Royals in the 8th inning.
Okay, and true to their statistics, they're scoring more runs in the 7th inning or later. And that barbecue sauce is hot. Perfect job of hitting there. Breaking ball again. It was down low, but Hosmer didn't try to do too much. Infield drawn in, he sees that. That's the biggest hole in the diamond.
And Eric can run. I'd say run and keep the heat on the Astros. They have to be really down right now. They're down to their last 3 outs.
I agree.
Hosmer has 4 stolen bases, and now Alex giving credit to the bottle of barbecue sauce as Perez takes a fastball for a strike.
I'll tell you, the eight runs in the 8th inning over the last 4 games. That's been a nice little blow for Holland or whoever comes in.
Perez has 2 singles and is now hitting .316. That was off of his foot. 0-2. The question is, whose bat is that? Trying to get some of the Billy's barbecue magic on it.
Yeah, that bat's cupped in the end, so it fits in there. Take a big drink. That bat might be lethal now. I don't know whose it is.
Now, barbecue sauce would be classified as a foreign substance, wouldn't it?
I think it would,
Yeah.
but since it's sealed and not opened, there's no evidence.
And that's a base hit into left field. Salvador Perez has 3 hits, and look at Eric Hosmer on a base hit to left field. He goes first to third.
Yep, sometimes you don't have to steal to make it happen, but you can't have good awareness, and that's exactly what Eric's doing here. The delight of this beautiful crowd here at the King. Being aggressive, that's one thing Ned has. He has guys that can run, and that puts pressure on defense. Salvi guided that right into the hole. And Hosmer challenged Carter in left field. He says, all right, I know you're a first baseman. You're not supposed to throw that much, but I'm going to see what you got here. We thought about advancing even further, but with less than 2 outs and Billy coming up, there's no need to try to score on that. But that aggressive base running is a beautiful thing.
I don't think Carter was expecting that.
No, that's what I'm saying. Now, the reputation of the Royals, the way they run the bases is no secret anymore. However, there are some guys that aren't really aware of the way they can take the extra base.
Fastball is high. Billy walked in the first. He's grounded out twice since.
Bringing in a reliever after a guy's been dealing the starter, lots of times that's a nice break, and the Royals are taking advantage.
Got him to pop up. Sunlight reflecting off the glasses of Cedeno as he brings it down. So first and third, 2 away. And you can see what Billy felt about that swing. It always looks bad when a hitter swings at a pitch up and out of the strike zone and pops up, but we've seen Billy get on top of a pitch like that and hit it over the left field wall.
Just a click underneath it.
Corporon out to have a word with Ambriz, and the Astros have a lefty ready in the bullpen. That lefty would be Travis Blackley. And now Bo Porter is going to come out and make a change. We'll remind you to vote for the Royals Player of the Month, sponsored by Majestic and Rally House. Vote at Rally House stores and get a chance to go on field and meet the winning player. So Blackley comes on to face Moustakas. More barbecue sauce magic for the Royals in the 8th inning as they take a 2-0 lead. Well, 7 brilliant innings from Lucas Harrell, and then Hector Ambriz comes on. He got the first out of the 8th inning. Then the Royals strung together 4 straight hits. They've scored 2. Ambriz got the second out on a pop-up from Billy Butler, and now Travis Blackley comes on for the 23rd time. And he'll face Mike Moustakas with Hosmer at third, Perez at first. And a strike to Moustakas.
Okay, 86-92 with his sinking fastball. Saw that big curveball. That's what Moose is going to see a lot of. He's got an occasional changeup he'll use to righties. Big runner sitting out there. Big run. They got to get that in there. Get greedy.
Took a fastball at 92, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Okay, that's really the pitch that Moose wanted. Now he's going to get a diet of breaking balls with 2 strikes. They can be hit, but it's a lot harder to square up that curve than it is that fastball.
Two and two. Stockus walked in the first inning. A very good plate appearance. He had fallen behind 0-2 and reached with a walk. And the Royals loaded the bases in the first, but failed to score. Since then, he has grounded to second and flied to left. Up the middle. Behind second base, and Cedeno is there, and that ends the inning. So the Royals at one point have 4 straight hits. Gordon and Hosmer driving the runs. Getz got it started with a single, then stole second base. Hosmer got him to the plate, and then Gordon scoring on the base hit from Hosmer. Barbecue for everyone.
Take a drink, spread it around. Holland throws her down.
In the 8th inning, and we'll be talking about that and Luis Mendoza's best outing of the year coming up on Boulevard Royals Live. Joel Goldberg getting ready with the Music Man, organist Jeff Montgomery. Who knows, maybe he'll play us a tune coming up on the post-game show. Reaction from Ned Yost, the players, and much more after the game. Ryan?
Thank you, Joel. And since we're talking in rhymes now, inning number 8 has been great.
It was great.
There.
You got that right. And look, better late than never. It's really good to see. Hollins can come in now, Holland can, and just concentrate on strike one. Now, the opponent's only hitting 208 off of him. You know, strikes to walks way down. The walks is good. But to gain confidence and not let these guys in here with just 2 runs down, get in there with strike one. Work ahead, good hard, mid-90s fastball, slider, split finger. He's got the pitches to finish him off. Go for that 5th straight win. Hadn't happened since 2011. It's back in September of that year.
And some pretty good power coming up for the Astros, as Holland will get the 4, 5, and 6 hitters. Pena has homered 6 times. He is 1 for 3 today with a single. JD Martinez there on deck has homered 6 times. He's 1 for 3. And then their home run leader, Chris Carter, who has 13. He will bat 3rd. 2 balls and no strikes. Luis Mendoza went 7. He did not allow a run. And for Mendoza, that's 7 consecutive starts, allowing 3 earned runs or less. Aaron Crow pitched a scoreless 8th. And now Holland in the 9th. Remember those, Unis?
Sure do.
2-1.
Very colorful.
Picturing James Rodney Richard, Nolan Ryan.
Biggio and Bagwell wore those too.
Well, for
when they first
throwback days.
Yeah. That was the
Terry
day.
Poole, remember him?
Yeah.
Cesar Cedeno. 3-1 to Carlos Pena. So a leadoff walk would immediately bring the tying run to the plate.
Okay, Pena's going to be sitting on this pitch right here. Knows a fastball's coming.
Popped up as he lost the bat. And Perez runs to the screen, but it's on the other side. So Pena made contact with that pitch as he was losing the grip on the bat.
At least the bat stayed in. Didn't go in the stands. Salvio pick it up, give it to him, and Holland's going to come right back in there. No free passes, make him earn it.
Leadoff walk. It's only the second walk allowed by the Royals today.
Okay, fell behind.
Now there's your Bagwell and Biggio era.
Yeah. That's a little bit newer. But the importance of strike one is really big for Holland. Especially with these power guys coming up. There you go.
Martinez 1 for 3 with a 7th inning single. Astros have had 2 good scoring opportunities, and really that's it. On the ground to Moustakas. Out at second. Gets to first. Double play. Now Mike Moustakas would like to see more points added to his batting average, but he's had a huge game defensively today.
I'll say that ball to me looked like it was going to eat him up. It's a tough play for Moose. It has, none of them have been easy for him so far in this game. But this one here is an in-between hop, and he had his glove in the perfect position. Chris Getz had a little momentum. He went out and got it. That cut down the time to get that guy at first base and stayed on top with a good hard throw. Perfect turn.
And that is a huge play with Carter at the plate. With his power, Carter could hit it to Liberty and it'd still be a 1-run game.
Oh, man, a lot of fans here exhaling after that beautiful roll there.
Oh, 2. So Holland with his 2 best pitches, so he was energized by the ground ball double play. And the Royals are 1 strike away from a sweep. One and 2, and Holland falling off the mound as he was reaching back for a little extra and ran it up there at 97 miles an hour. Two and 2.
It's great to see the fans get behind their team. They deserve it.
And Carter, who walked back in the second, showing a good eye. He's filled out the count after falling behind 0-2. Holland strikes him out, and the Royals sweep the 3-game series from the Houston Astros. And they have won 5 in a row for the first time this year and for the first time since September of 2011.
Oh, and I'm telling you what, I said the fans deserve it. They do. Now they're leaving this ballpark thinking, hey, look, let's just move our way up on that mountaintop as we've been in the valley for too long. And now the winds are starting to pour on because they're playing the game right. All the brooms is a beautiful thing here to see at the K, and they're beating teams now that they should be beaten. Get them all fired up for the Tigers to come in. Hey, they can take a series from the Tigers just as well if they keep performing and they keep pitching.
Very little offense until the Royals came up with those 2 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning against reliever Hector Ambrose. And those are our 4 plays of the game.
Yes, you know what? Like I said, just get her done, and don't matter when they get the runs, but they'll take it. Getsy gets on base with a base hit, and then steals second, comes all the way around on Gordon. Gordon opened it up. He was due for a big hit. Hosmer says, all right, infield drawn in. I'll go right back up the box. Got a mistake, and with some barbecue sauce on it.
So even though Billy was 0 for 3 with a walk, that is his barbecue sauce. And that has been the object of motivation for the Royals during this 5-game winning streak, all here at Kauffman Stadium. Down to the field, here's Joel.
All right, Ryan, thank you very much. I can guarantee one thing. I don't think we're going to have any Gatorade showers today because the guy that usually throws them is right here, and the other guy that throws them is over there, George Guitaris. All right, Salvi, they're messing with you, but let's talk about this winning streak here and the hitting late in the game. What's been the key? Stop looking over there. Come on. What's been the key?
We play to win every game. You know, we play hard every day. Mendoza, all the starting pitcher, really good, and that happened.
And then the offense, too. What's been the biggest change for the offense this week?
We're working every day in the case. Everybody tries to do it better. When we get to the home plate, we try to do it the best we can do it every night.
What made Luis Mendoza so good today? This might have been his best outing of the year.
He was really good. He threw a lot of sinker down the way, a lot of ground ball. The curve is awesome. He threw more changes today. He's nice today.
3 hits for you. We'll let you go in there and celebrate with your team. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Salvador Perez, and now let's bring in the man who did the damage in the 8th inning. And Alex, you've had such a good year, but you were in a bit of a slump. What? Were you?
Thanks for bringing that up, yeah.
But it was a great hit. 10 for 62, but nobody was counting, and then you deliver with the big RBI. Take us through that.
Yeah, I mean, when you're not hitting it that well, you got to just forget about it, move on. You know, you can't worry about the past, and Getz did a great job of getting on, and just trying to stay simple. I knew they had a base open, so they're going to be careful, and just trying to hit a single and get Getsy in there.
How much has the field changed in that clubhouse? I know you have all tried to stay positive, but you're losing a lot, and now it's 5 in a row and in this race.
Yeah, we're not even thinking about the past, you know, the losing streak or whatever we had going on. We're playing well right now, and, you know, it was pitching and defense today. Offense didn't do a whole lot, but they kept us in the game and let us score late.
But I did notice that in the 8th inning, Guthrie popped out of the clubhouse and brought some of that Billy's hit it a ton barbecue sauce, and suddenly the offense gets going, and you were holding on to that afterwards.
Yeah, I don't know if it's that good, but it gets us a lot of runs, so we'll take it right now.
Great job today. Thanks, Alex.
All right, thank you.
Alex Gordon, and everybody stays dry down here because we kept the catcher, Salvador Perez, busy. All is well with the win. Guys, back upstairs to you.
Well, I have tried the barbecue sauce, and it's delicious. So, look, whatever's working, keep it going, fellas. Defense, pitching, and timely hits.
All 3 of those today, and a 2-0 win over the Astros. We'll be right back.